everybody, and welcome back to Flyout Community Creations. This is episode 6 of this little series we have going, and just before we get started, I just want to say there were so many creations published between last community episode and this one that I had absolutely no way to fit them all in one video. So if you are interested in some of these designs, there are so many awesome ones still in my Discord. That will be linked in the description below. Find the Submit Your Flyout Creations here channel if you want to go see what other people have created. I'd love to maybe have a chance to fit them into future videos if we maybe have less submissions in a week, but I can't promise anything because you keep submitting things at such a rate that I don't have enough time in the week to show them all off. But there's some seriously cool stuff in there, so I strongly suggest you check that out. And also, a huge thank you to the support on this series in general. It is one of the most consistently viewed series on the channel, and that is just greatly appreciated because I have fun making these. You guys clearly have fun watching these, so all good in the hood. Wow, I should never speak like that again. But yeah, all of that out of the way, let's kick this off with the AF-29 Marauder by Big Ham in my Discord. Obviously inspired by the P-47 Thunderbolt. It's a little bit skinnier, but I don't think it's any smaller, and it's definitely not less armed, because if you look here, you might be thinking, well, that's only 250 cals in the wings, that's not that crazy, but no. This here is a 37mm belly-mounted cannon, which is... yeah, that's quite significant armament. And I believe this thing is pretty damn snappy, so we might even be able to take down a target drone with this thing, but we'll have to wait and see. Okie dokie, here we are on the runway, and we have a very, very nice cockpit going on inside here. There is a custom modded reticle on this thing, but when you submit craft with mods, I don't tend to install the mods as well, just in case it causes some issues, but that's okay. It should still work okay. And they claim a top speed of 474. They don't say what altitude that's at, but we're going to do the old... top speed on the deck. And then someone suggested that I also do it at altitude, so maybe we'll climb to about maybe 4,000 meters and see what it does there as well. So I'll get 2 figures for you this time, and let's see how that goes. But without any further ado, let's give her some beans here. And hopefully this plane is better designed than mine and should be a little bit easier to take off. And someone said not to use someone said not to use keyboard flight. Oh my goodness me. When taking off, I don't think I damaged anything there. I think we're good now. Okay. I'm not a very good pilot, so that's probably just a skill issue there. Okay, and obviously you can see we got these big old drop tanks, but we're not going to be needing those. We're not going to be flying for that long, so we're going to drop these with just M, because that's going to give it a better chance on this old speed run here. So, yeah, let's see what we can do. Oh, and for conversion's sake, 474 miles an hour is about 760 kilometers an hour, roughly. So... If we can beat that, then I've set a new speed record for this plane. Okay, so here on the deck, we're only doing about 561. So it's definitely at altitude that they've done that speed test. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put her in a climb and see what kind of speeds we can get at like 4,000 meters, I reckon. Not super high altitude, but... it should be enough to get a decent idea of the speed increase. And while we're climbing, I may as well comment that the climb rate on this thing isn't half bad, which is quite impressive given that it's based on the P-47. Okay, 4,000 meters it is. I've pointed us back towards the airfield so that we're roughly in the right place once we've done the speed trial. And I'm hoping we probably won't hit that 760, but I'm hoping we crack the 600 at this altitude because it should be quite a lot thinner up here. Okay, I think we've just leveled out in speed here at 630-ish kilometers an hour. So we're gonna say that's about all she's gonna do. She might just inch up to 635, maybe even 640 if we left it long enough. But it's not gonna get all the way up to that maximum speed, so I'm thinking we gotta be a little bit more up there to get that kind of a speed out of this thing. But I thought I'd just demonstrate real quick. Number one, these aren't 50 cals, like I said earlier, sorry. These are 20 mils, and yeah. It's got some serious firepower going on. With that 37 in the middle, and then 4 20mm cannons. This thing could pretty much shred anything from the Second World War era. So, definitely an intimidating armament to come up against, and if you're thinking, hey, well, you know, I'll just outturn it because it's a P-47, like, yeah, I mean, it's got a fair whack of agility going on as well. This thing, it doesn't slouch in the turns, and especially if you give it a little bit of combat flappage, you can see, you know, we're not going very quick, but we're still pulling a fair whack of G's. So there's quite a lot of authority on this thing, and that makes it quite the intimidating aircraft. And so finally, let's bring her in for a landing. And as you can see, the dive speed is, yeah, pretty good. About 900 kilometers an hour before we hit the floor. Oh, no, we are going to hit the floor. Oh, no worries. We're going to get you a normal landing. Yeah, that was just sloppy from me before. So here, we're going to do a proper job here. So let's give a level 3 flaps, I think, is going to be sufficient. The stall speed doesn't feel like it's going to be too bad. I reckon we're only going to drop out of the air at about 180, probably. Maybe even less than that. Yeah, definitely less than that. Maybe even 150. So let's, I mean, we're kind of skidding. Oh, there we go. That was about 150, and we started just to drop. But as per usual, landing a propeller aircraft in this game just seems to be the worst thing. I'm not very good at it. But there we go. We survived the landing, and I don't even think there's any damage. So that's a win right there. Well, thanks for that submission. We're moving on to the next one now. And that is the DeLorean, of course. With hoverboard included from, I think, Back to the Future 2? Is it with the hoverboard? Can't remember. Maybe it's the original one. And Marty McFly there in the main driver's seat there. Flux capacitor looking just fantastic. Oh, look at this. I mean, it's a DeLorean. I don't really know what else to say about that, to be entirely honest. There's Mr. Fusion reactor, and yeah, hopefully we don't get trapped back in back in the past and have to find a clock tower that's going to get struck by lightning. Okay, so apparently this thing is very loud, and I'm starting to agree, to be entirely honest, but supposedly we can just throttle up to take off here. So let's see, how difficult is it? Oh, okay, there we go. We're just kind of going, and I hold forward arrow to go forwards. Okay. Turbine throttle. Don't think I'm meant to touch those. It's got quieter. Toggle lights. Do we need... yeah, we'll have those on. And we're DeLoreaning. Yeah, I mean, this is about as quick as it appears to go. So it's not the speediest in the world, but we've got the proper gull wing doors. The floor is rapidly approaching here. Oh, yep, no, we're fine. And then 7, maybe? Does that not open the other door? No, 9 does. Okay, the instructions are wrong. Now the hoverboard can get out. Amazing. That was really important. This is a DeLorean. Yep. Right. I don't think there's much point doing a top speed test for the DeLorean, so we're just going to try and bring her down to a landing on the runway over there. It's a little bit hard to control, and hopefully we don't kill Doc. Well, Doc's not in the car. Maybe he's already dead. Okay, we're going to drop the throttle down. Gently bring her into land here. Come on. Oh, it is The controls are more of a suggestion than an actual input. Oh dear! And there goes the yeah, there goes all the bits that make the actual time machine work. And next up, we have a design from Leand, who has been on this series before with a full glass cockpitted fighter. And this is a, I believe, custom fighter jet called the SR71 Harapia. And this is absolutely crazy. The detailing on some of these crafts that you're submitting is absolutely insane. We've got a little bird, little emblems, the line work, the rivets, and the bolts holding this thing together. We've got the little warning symbols. There's so much work that must go into this stuff. I cannot believe. But yeah, let's give it a flight. Okie dokie. Here we are on the runway, feeling very quiet after the DeLorean last time. It's H here to open and close this canopy. And as you can see, we do have a detailed cockpit with some kind of radar. I don't believe we're in Canada. Maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe it's France. I believe it's Quebec. Okie dokie. Right. Let's stop talking about where we are and instead absolutely beans this thing. So we've got a couple of custom missiles here, which I believe should work because they are just reskinned versions of the IR missiles. So we should be able to take down a good number of target drones here. And we have these big old drop tanks, which we are going to drop for the purposes of the speed test here, just to be fair. So that is delete, and then boom, there they go. And we'll do a run at low altitude, and then a run at about 4,000 meters again, just to see what she can do. Alright, I think that's about all I can wait for. I think it's going to keep accelerating a little bit, but we're about Mach 2.02. And actually, in the interest of not running out of fuel here, I think we're just going to go straight shoot down some target drones, because I don't think 4,000 meters of altitude is really going to change the top speed of this thing. It's really fast. So we're going to spawn in a bunch of these target drones, and as you can see, we've got plenty of agility to get behind these target drones and start launching these missiles. I mean, that's a brave launch, but that might even... Yeah, there's one already. There's another one. That should hit, I think. We're not facing towards the sun, so it's got a good chance. No problem whatsoever. You can pull really, really hard with this plane. It's got very, very upset with me pulling that maneuver. Please behave. There we go. Okay, it does not like mouse control for some reason, so we probably won't be using the guns. I've just fired a missile by accident. It's going to run out of fuel, but it might have got a track on the target drone, and it might get him. Oh, just missed. Okay, we'll try another one. We got plenty where that came from. There we go. Come on. Surely, surely, surely. Easy, easy. Not even a doubt in my mind at any point. Okay, right. I love this thing. It performs amazingly, but in the interest of time, we're going to get our speed test as we head back to the runway, and I will drop the remainder of these weapons, and we'll see how fast we can get at altitude. Okay, since I can't do mouse flight, I've set the autopilot. So let's see. Let's see how quick we go here. Okay, I think just as we pass over the airfield, the acceleration has slowed down a lot. We are still slowly accelerating, but as you can see, it seems to be capping out about Mach 2.4. So we're going to call it there and say it's 2.4. Disengage the autopilot, and let's bring her in for a landing. And we've got these beefy air brakes on top, and as you can see, that is doing some serious work to slow us down, even in a dive. We are dropping the speed real quick. Okay, I don't have I don't seem to have mouse control too much. Oh, okay, at this speed we're good. Okay, I'm gonna need that for landing. So let's pop the flaps out big time here. and a little bit more air brake before we touch down. It's so lively. It really wants to just it just wants to turn, you know? Stay still. Come on, we're just landing. We don't need any fancy acrobatics right now. And here we go. I think I've remembered to extend the landing gear. I have, indeed. I can see the shadow. There we go. It's always what you want to hear just before you land. Like, the pilot comes down the tannoy and it's just like, this is your captain speaking. I think I've remembered to extend the landing gear. And as we come to a stop, we can hit H and pop open the canopy and a little bounce of the suspension for style points. This is awesome. I really, really like this thing. Thank you so much for the submission, but that's all the time we got for this one. Moving on. Okay, up next, designed by KPSWZG, we have this absolutely huge version of the Horton 229. This is the Horton 229 PJ, and yeah. Let's give it a fly and see how this works. Might have a bit of a tendency to slip, given, you know, no rudder, but let's find out. Okay, here we are, and it appears to be dragging its tail on the ground a little bit here, which is not amazing for the aircraft, I can imagine. We're going to have to trigger the engine's ignition here, maybe? Oh, it doesn't work. Really? Oh, there we go, there we go. Okay, the engines are working. It's just if they stall, you can't turn them back on. But as you can see, when I use the rudder here, these ailerons are splitting into two to give us rudder authority, which is really quite cool. Let's see. It shouldn't take too long for this thing to get off the ground, as it is absolutely massive, and the surface area of this wing should be more than enough to provide ample lift here. So, come on. Up you get. Off the floor, surely any moment. Ooh, any moment now. You're going to want to take off. There we go. We are up into the air. We've touched down a little bit rough. Oh, goodness me. This doesn't feel amazingly good for the health. And can we recover? Can we save this? Yes, it looks like we're up into the air. We've got a lot of slippage going on here. We're going to need quite... Ooh. Oh, man. We're going like 45 degrees to the side. Okay. Oh. Right. There we go. Now we're going forwards. That's what we want to see. Can we get a speed test out of this? Ooh. That was a little bit scary, but we've got her under control. We've got her under control. Let's try and get a bit of a speed test going on. Okie dokie. We've been waiting a long time. You can see all the way back there is the airfield, and this has not been particularly quick. But we're still accelerating, but we're at about 1,000 kilometers an hour. And I think it's probably only fair that we just turn it around here and try it at 4,000 meters now. So about 1,000 kilometers an hour by the end of our little run, and it didn't quite reach its top speed. But let's climb her up and see if we can hit anything a little bit quicker at altitude as we head back towards the runway and attempt what I'm slightly concerned may be a very, very difficult landing. The turn time on this thing is not stellar, but it's, you know, it's, given the size, not the worst it could have been. We are at about 4,000, slightly over, but I don't, you know, a couple hundred meters shouldn't make too much difference. So we're going to set the autopilot again once I get leveled out, and I'll give you the reading once I've stopped accelerating. Okay, crossing over the airfield now, and as you can see, we've topped out, actually, at 1047 kilometers an hour, so just over 1,000, and we might have reached very close to that if we'd stayed with the run down low, but we wouldn't have exceeded it, most likely. But, yep, we'll try and bring her in for a landing now, and, yeah, wish me luck. Okay, this is not my best approach in the world. But there are no air brakes on this thing, and it does not want to slow down in the slightest. So we're just going to do our best here, and I think our best, it's not looking awful. I mean, it's looking awful. It's looking just distinctly awful. I cannot I can't slow down. It's just accelerating. Okay, we're gonna have to do another attempt at that one. That was not that was not very good. Okay, stall, and so I'm gonna call it there. Thank you for submitting that one, but we're all out of time. Moving on to the next plane. And you join me with the next plane, which is a flying boat called the called the PBY-38 Catalightning. And as you can see, it doesn't actually work in the water. So if you're wondering why I'm using a flying boat, not at sea, this is the reason. I thought I'd just include this because it's quite funny. However, back to the normal flight, you can see we have this kind of private yacht-looking fuselage with wings and two push-prop engines, which I really like this thing. In a way I can't really describe. Okay, here we are on the runway, and let's see, how easy is it to fly a boat? We'll find out here. So we got a couple of controls here. We're gonna just get her up into the air first, which I don't think is going to be too difficult. I think it's going to lift off at about 200 kph. We're going to give it a little bit more flappage in order to just help with that. And any moment now, we should... Ooh, dear. Oh, dear. Okay, let's build up a little bit more speed first. Then gently, there we go, not stall the entire aircraft. Bring in the flaps, give it some trim. Lovely, there we go, now we're flying, and we can press a couple keys. So we've got K is our lay lights. Oh yeah, up front there. We've got H to raise and lower the floats, and those are gonna just slot nicely onto the end of the wings. Oh, that's cool. I like that. I like that a lot. We got 4 30mm cannons. I'm presuming... Oh, no. Okay. Those are forward-facing. I thought they would be rear-facing, but there you go. Why not? There would be torpedoes or bombs, but they're not in the game yet, they say. And we have internally... Oh, for gun's sake? Yep. Okay. Sure. And there you go. There's our luxurious interior of our yacht. This is ridiculous, but I love it in every single way. And, I mean, this is right up my alley of the kind of goofy stuff that I would like to build. We'll give it a bit of a top speed test, but I'm not expecting anything particularly spectacular, I can't lie. Alright, we're not exceeding 400 kilometers an hour here, and honestly... I don't think this thing's built for speed, so we're not going to worry too much about a high-altitude top speed run, but I think we should just take a moment to appreciate what on earth was going through your mind when you decided to make this. Because I love it. I mean, I love it so much. And pusher props, wonderful. I always love a good pusher aircraft. And you can fish off the back if you're feeling particularly brave. Just keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. But yeah, slightly dangerous fishing experiences aside, let's bring her in for a landing, because we do have a landing gear, and yeah, we can't land her at sea. You've seen what happens already. Oh! She stalls something rotten at a really high speed. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. It's a boat. But I think the only thing we've lost is a landing bay door on the right-hand side. So that's okay. We don't necessarily need that. So we're going to try again. And hopefully this time We don't plummet out of the sky like a rock. Man, I was expecting a little bit of a lower landing speed, but that's fine. It is heavy after all. And any moment now, there we go. That's the stall. But this time, a safe landing. There we go. Sorry, lads, about that slight panic. Ah, this is so cool. Thank you so much for the submission, and we're on to the final build that we're going to be showing off today. And I'm not sure if I said this build is by Ponya. If I didn't, last but not least, Mr. McMuffin Jr. has built us an SR71 Blackbird. So let's go to a really, really, really high altitude and absolutely beans it. And then I don't think we'll worry too much about landing it, because I think it's going to be very pretty seeing this thing at basically the verge of space to take us to play us out for the end of this video. So let's see how fast we can go. We are on the runway, and I mean, nothing better to do than just give us some beans and see how long it takes to take off, because oh, it's gonna take a while. She's heavy, and she does not have a lot of wing surface area, but you know, we are going like Mach 0.5 on the runway, so oh man, they say 80,000 feet is quite a good altitude for this thing, so let's see what that is in meters, and we'll go there. Alright, that's 24,000 meters, so got a bit of climbing to do. I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, we're in a climb, and we're now at Mach 2.5, 2.6, 2.7, 2.8. There's quite a lot of beans in this thing, really, aren't there? We are now well above the clouds and ascending incredibly rapidly to that 24,000 meter level that we want to reach. And yeah, still going Mach 3.35. Obviously, as we get to the super high altitudes, there's not a lot of air left for the engines to burn, so I wouldn't be surprised if we don't actually beat that climb speed at altitude. It's just going to be, you know, a mix of efficiency and the coolness of being able to look up and see nothing. Oh man, what a cool plane. I'm back here. It's all very serene. No noise. Here, no, still none. Absolutely no noise. Going so quick. The noise is all over there. And that is a menacing looking aircraft right there. Oh man, apparently it's quicker on flaps 1, which is why I've not retracted the flaps for this one. But yeah, if you've enjoyed this one, please leave a like, comment, and or subscribe, and don't forget to submit your craft in the Discord server, my Discord server, down below, in the Submit Your Flyout Creations Here channel. But yeah, without any further ado, that's all for today. I really hope you've enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you in the future for more stuff like this. But for now, ta-da! And as always, a huge thank you to this channel's patrons: Ambrose, KemJam135, Cody N, DG Pete, Skavunga, Mata929, Sad Cat, Jack Not Angra, Just Casual 2671, Last 11, Mildly Invested, Relaxed Panda, Roltersbocken, Ryan Brody, Terror, the Kinesian Emperor, Worfsickle, and Zeit Wolverine. Thank you so much for your support.